It's time for lunch money with Gina Savage and Christy Miller. We are your new daytime comedy talk show.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to Lunch Money. We are your new noon daytime comedy talk show. I'm your host, Gina Savage, and I'm joined with your host, Christy Miller.
Yes, bitches. What's up, Miss June? Happy Gay Pride. Yes.
Yes.
That was a lot to say. Hello.
Well, it's Gay Pride. It's
It
gay
is.
Pride. There's a lot of Gay Pride.
Yep, a lot of Gay
A
Pride.
lot of Gay Pride.
Gay Pride Buttertop Wheat.
Buttertop wheat.
Remember that?
Yeah, Pride.
Home
I
Pride,
like that.
Buttertop
Yeah,
wheat.
Home Pride was.
Yeah.
That's my bread right
You
there.
can practically taste it with
That's-
your eyes.
That's my bread right there. That Home Pride. When they introduced Home Pride in 1970?
something.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I liked it a lot. Still do.
I used to call it back in West Hollywood Gay Pride Buttertop Wheat, and they would die, all the
That's
queens.
funny.
So stupid. Anyway, hi everybody. Welcome to Lunch Money.
Welcome to Lunch Money. I'm a little drained. I'm a little drained, and if I may share,
Yes. Share.
I am drained because I worked late
Yeah, always.
till 4 a.m.ish. I got home around 4:35, and then I went out to Jersey to see the stroke victim boyfriend, who I love dearly, and everybody knows.
Stroke me, stroke me.
Victim
Stroke.
boyfriend. He laughs when I say that 'cause he's doing better, but
Good.
it's a 2-hour ride out there,
It's a lot.
and I got out there I left the house at 8:45, so I got maybe 4 hours sleep.
Oof.
Then, because today was very important, a little air, but the fact of the matter was the celebration of Al Martin's life at Broadway Comedy Club, and I know a lot of you know, I worked for Al Martin at several of his
years.
clubs for
Yeah.
many years.
Yep,
And
you did. And, God rest his soul. It was a very sudden death. Was it last year already?
it's last year.
God.
Yeah, it was sudden. And because I moved on in a lot of different ways. I would have these things with Al where we'd be getting along, and then it'd be like, I don't really want to do it this way, and can't we do blah blah blah, and then we'd have some sort of thing, and then
Yep.
I'd always the grass is always greener, right? But he says so anyway. He left us.
Yes.
I didn't have a chance to mend fences. We always loved each other. It wasn't that.
Yeah, you guys had, no
Right.
matter, you guys fought like family,
We fought like family.
like brother and sister. And I always knew he loved you to death. And because if he didn't, Dina or somebody would have been very vocal to you about it. Like, don't come around, don't do this.
yeah, there wasn't anything.
It was
that.
nothing like
But
that.
we were
honey.
finally going to, go eat at Lamella. I think I've talked about this, but that was one of his restaurants. He'd go with
Yeah.
Chris Murphy too.
Yeah.
And we were finally, he was amenable to doing that. I was excited to
Yeah.
just shoot the comedy shit,
Yeah.
with the boys.
Reminisce, yeah.
Because, we always got along, except for those little things I would want to change,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. But anyway, enough about that. I wish we would have had the opportunity. We didn't, but it was such a touching
Aww.
tribute to him, and it needs to be said because he really say what you want. There's
Yep.
a lot of people will say what they want, but I witnessed firsthand the amount of people whose careers he jump-started, and that's because he just gave everybody a shot. He gave you a shot.
That's the one thing I've mentioned this
Yeah.
on other. I may
Yeah.
have mentioned it here, but I've mentioned it on other podcasts,
Right.
like my other podcast, Old School, New School Comedy, talking shop with a bunch of comics. So I've talked about Broadway and stuff like that, and how I remember that when Al was, heavily into the booking back then when he was in full in, he was like, Christy, you're funny. I don't care if you have 2 followers on social media. I don't care. If you're funny and you kill it in my room, you're going to get stage time.
Yeah.
Because I never cared about fame or, big names. Sure, it was nice when they came in, but he always told me, he's like, I don't care. If you're funny, you're playing.
And
He always hooked me up.
Yeah, and the through line of, I think, the was probably the classiest thing that ever happened in that club, by the way. And I'm like,
sweetie, that's not saying much.
No, it was like, no.
Considering I used to work there.
Because Chris Murphy goes, because he's dead. Now it's classy.
Al would have loved that.
He would have loved it. But what was I going to say? It was, the through line
Yes.
of the celebration of life, if you will, is that not only did he give people the internship program where like you put a couple hours in, you got a spot,
Yep.
right? No matter how funny or not funny, if you were an intern, you got a spot, and invaluable, incalculably, whatever.
The word was invaluable.
Yeah. Invaluable is what I'm trying to say.
Vitamin to vitamin.
I'll bring it back every week.
Oh man, I hit the wrong button.
I like it though. But the heart, that he had heart, that he was always rooting for the underdog.
Yep.
And that is something that I still feel in my gut.
Yeah.
As a person.
Yeah.
Like I'm always like, you didn't think so-and-so was going to be such and such, and now look at so-and-so and look at such and such. And there's still that part of me that's like, I knew so-and-so when, or I watched somebody's career. Yeah. It's a nice feeling.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things, I was like, actually, like as we were slowly getting out of COVID, the Comedy Cellar podcast, Noam had Al Martin on, and I was at the gym, and I was like, okay, I got to listen to this. Because here's two New York City comedy icons from two opposite ends of the spectrum, two opposite points of view, but coming together and sharing the experience of how they view and how they've run their business and how they see comedy. It was like a really cool episode.
Sounds insightful, and I've never heard it, and now I'm going to listen to it.
You have to. I listened to it while I was squatting in the gym because I had nothing else to listen to, sweetie. So I just wanted to feel like I was a part of something when I'm a part of nothing.
We're a part of this thing called life. And the celebration of life was lovely, and kudos to all the put that together. And I'm just gonna say names: Eric Hansen, Rich Brooks. I mean,
nice.
Dina, the whole family, Carolyn. It was really lovely.
I was happy.
Grateful to be there, and because at a time that I was always been a comedy club manager to some extent in different locations, and when people didn't think, that you were getting paid. There was a time when he needed me, and I stepped up, and he paid me exactly like I was like, wow, like he stepped up to the payment arrangement.
That's one thing I've noticed with him over the years, with people that he really loved or people that had his back that he knew that he was tight with. I'm not going to say names, but I'm just to say there's a list of people I've seen how he's literally quietly handled business and took care of people. And I always like, that's a really cool thing, Al. Like, that's a big notch in my book of like fucking badass.
Yeah. And then he very sweetly, when he and Chris Murphy were in Florida, my dad was sick on and off.
Right.
And they just happened to, and maybe they went gambling. That's what they did. But the casino was near where my father lived.
Well, they weren't going for the buffet.
Maybe they did. But they did stop in to see my dad, and I don't really know a lot of people that
would do that,
step out of like, I'm the the man that you work for, and I'm gonna go see your dad. And that was touching. It my father thought, what a mensch that Al was, and it is, and so anyway, I'm a little like little pleb.
One of my favorite ongoing jokes with him, with me and Al, was he's like, Christy, he sent me he's like, people are complaining about following you, because you'd always put me at like the 11:20 spot.
Yeah.
It was always like JJ Ramirez, me, and I think Amy Foster, and and Chris Murphy, and all the usual suspects, and he would throw me in there sometimes with them. And it was always like 11:20. He always took care of me, and always like, I'll put you on, whatever, second. And I was like, I don't care, whatever. Thank you for, giving me late spots, because that's back when I had a day job and I worked till 10 o'clock. So he would throw me on the 11 p.m.s all the time. And he's like, Christy, I'm getting complaints about following you. And I was like, what? He goes, yeah, people are complaining about it's too hard to follow you. I said, that's not my problem.
Yeah.
You know, I learned the hard way how to follow a monster on stage. You know, I asked Mitzi Shore for those late night spots.
Yeah.
After Rogan, after Mencia, after, you know, all those guys going on and killing it for an hour, hour and a half, and then having to follow that melee, you know, as the people are leaving and you got to like control the room.
Mm-hmm.
I learned how to have, you know, balls. So I was like, well, I go, okay. He goes, I'm going to have to make you the closer. So I was like, all right, I'll take the closing spot. Sure. That's great. I go, perfect. So, which is fine with me because then I can just close it out and go home and relax. And I wouldn't have to rush to get there.
Right.
So it became, he's like, you're my closer. So we had this whole joke about Mariano. I said, I'm the Mariano Rivera of Broadway. He goes, yeah, you kind of are. And I go, do you think we should play Enter Sandman when I go on? He was dying. I said, I think I need a number 42.
That's really cute.
It was cute. So that was like our little ongoing gag for a long time. Yeah.
That's very sweet.
Yeah. Those were the good old days.
The good old days, yeah.
Those were the days.
It was some good times. Good to see everybody today. And,
well, I'm happy.
And but you know, here we are. We're I have a lot going on. One of the things I'm exhausted about is I'm going to. A lot of you know I'm sober, and I'm proud of that fact after some scenarios in my life. But you know, you give back. Right. So I try to give back. I try to do service when I can. It's not enough that I, you know,
serve coffee,
work a lot, but and take care of my stroke victim boyfriend. But I do want to give back to the community that like has embraced me, and so
it's beautiful. Is it though? No,
speaking at a meeting in
oh wow.
Well, that's if I get the clearance. I'm waiting. I'm supposed to get
the clearance. Where are you going?
Rikers.
We'll be right back. Are you gonna find me a husband? Well, if Strokey doesn't make it, you got one in there.
Well, I think it's just,
if it's not Strokey, it's the guy in the pokey. Anyway, sorry.
I think it's just women I'm talking to. So,
well, like I said, you sure are pretty, Gina.
Well, you know there is that factor. I mean, you know. But I was
you get a big old Monique-looking bitch coming at you.
She'd be like,
yeah, honey.
I was told not to wear certain colors because that
gang colors.
Yeah, like I was told to like either like be in black or khaki. I don't really have
khaki.
A lot of khaki.
What are you, Jake from State Farm?
I have a lot of khaki, man.
Khaki.
But yeah,
them's
the rules. So
wear black.
You know, you wonder. Like,
just wear black. It's slimming. You'll look hotter.
I'll wear black. But you know, like it's a little daunting, you know, because it is a prison.
Because you know how Monique did her special, one of her specials in the women's prison.
I did not see.
You didn't see it? It's hilarious, and I'm like, I want to do that. I want to like work like that. Would be so fun.
Yeah. Well, those prisoners need it.
They need something to make it. You know, and they can take a joke. I mean, sweetie, they're locked up. Where are they going to go?
Where are they going to
I'm
go?
going to complain to the manager. This show sucks. They're just happy to be out of their cell.
They'll be happy to be out of their cell. But yeah, I mean, who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? But
that's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm tired. I got to get up early for that. Can't wait.
Oh boy, you got to get up early to go to prison.
I got to get up early to go to prison tomorrow. Can't wait.
Well, that's awesome.
It is.
Well, if it helps you anything, I started my period today, so I have like the worst cramps.
At least you're still.
Hi, I'm 54. Thank you.
Yeah, she's still a woman, and she's complaining. She still is fertile, and she's complaining. I don't have the time.
I don't think that egg I have left is very fertile.
I don't have the time or the inclination.
My leg, I think my egg's like some ornery little Italian lady in the Bronx,
like
with like a hairy mole, smoking Pall Mall Golds, with a walker with the tennis balls on it. Get out of my kitchen, god damn you, son of a bitch! I dare you to inseminate this, you little prick. You know, she's heckling the sperm.
Yeah,
the sperm are like, we're gay now. See you later.
I could see that actually. I got the vision now. Now it's like
part of my act. Thank you.
Like it.
We'll be right back.
Well, speaking of prison, I got to pull this up on my phone. This is like, I really want to do this justice because, we have I'm going to prison. People are like, I have to just, okay, let's get it. Okay.
Oh.
Florida.
Oh, of course. Why couldn't you be speaking at a prison in Florida? That would just be kind of redundant. Thank you.
Yeah, the whole state's a prison.
Yes.
Man tries to pay for sex at a Florida club, calls 911 to complain about not receiving services.
Well,
yeah.
How hot was the chick?
Well, okay.
How much did he pay?
First of all, I don't know, but he was in. It took $300. They said, okay, I'm gonna just read it.
Okay, just read it.
A man faces charges after Pinellas County deputies. He called 911 claiming security at a club took $300 from him, money he was going to use to attempt to pay an employee for sex. The backstory, according to an arrest affidavit filed in the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, Sultan Anofale something 21 called 911 from the Oz Gentlemen's Club near Clearwater shortly after midnight on Sunday. Blah, blah, blah. Deputies say told dispatchers to come take him to jail. They say he asked to go to jail.
Yeah.
Right.
Because he probably wasted the $300 on alcohol and was mad that he wasn't going to get to hook up in the VIP section. What was his name again?
His name was Sultan.
I am Sultan. I pay for sex.
Who called?
And if I don't get sex, I blow up building. Nothing? All right. Sorry. Too soon?
Who calls? I could see calling to complain that you paid for services, but then take me to jail, directly to jail, not pass go? Like, he's obviously going to jail.
Why don't you just Yelp him?
I'm not dealing with this.
1 star. I paid $300 and got no pussy. Thank you.
What did they end up doing? Let's find out what they ended up doing to this guy.
They probably put him in jail.
The deputies told dispatchers to come take him to jail. Then explained that he explained to dispatchers to come take him to jail.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Probably because he didn't want to get beat up by the bouncers. You ever seen the bouncers at a strip joint? They're fucking monsters. They probably have those crocodile alligators that are running around Florida right now loose.
Listen, they don't mess around in Florida when it comes to like the security, whether you paid or not. If
Get out.
Acting up and
he's dead.
You don't.
You're going to be sitting inside of an alligator purse.
Yeah, he's lucky if he goes to jail.
Yep, he'll be fed to the gators.
That's it.
And I don't mean the Florida State Gators, sweetie. All right, never mind.
All right, I
wouldn't mean mine be fed to the Florida.
Speaking of people doing fucked up things.
No.
All right,
that narrows it down to America. Anyway.
This is kind of gross. It caught my attention the other day.
Mm-hmm.
A man in Indiana, a man's body was found in a Planet Fitness tanning bed. It was left there for days. Yeah.
Well, it is Planet Fitness.
In the tanning bed for like 4 days. He was dead. And he was in the... First of all, who cleans that place up at night?
Obviously nobody.
How is he dead for 4 days?
How? Okay, first of all, these employees need to get written up and fired because they're not pulling their weight with quotas. And don't you have sales goals and tanning bed sessions? Obviously, they're not selling them because the guy was in there for 4 days. No one's using them.
Well, I guess what happened was the guy, here's the thing.
Fired.
It's kind of a sad story. Fucking sad.
Not because he's dead, but because, sweetie, he didn't hit quota.
Exactly. The guy was like trying to get sober, and I guess the girl either worked there or came to the gym with drugs. Like she was like a bad influence.
It's Planet Fitness. What do you expect?
Trying to get better and like get off the drugs. She brings the drugs. He must have had something happen and he died. OD'd at the Planet Fitness.
Well, rich girls take Ozempic and Planet Fitness staff take meth. Meth, I hear you calling.
In Pinellas County.
But I'm dying in a tanning bed right now.
Oh my God. All I know.
I can understand for a couple hours, but 4 days?
Where are the security cameras on any of this? How does
What
this happen?
security cameras?
What's going on?
Gina, it's $10 a month. There's no security cameras.
You make a valid point. Moving on.
They don't care. Planet Fitness, they don't give a fuck what happens to you in there as long as they get their $10 a month.
You know, another thing that struck me this week is I read something about, that Gilgo Beach guy. The guy, Rex Heuermann.
The one out in Long Island guy?
The
big murderer?
The big oaf-looking mofo that killed like a bunch of prostitutes and dumped their bodies on Gilgo Beach, which for some reason I always want to say Gilo Beach. I don't know why.
Okay, first of all, Sultan, you should take notes. That's how you handle $300 business failure.
Okay, yeah.
Murder him. Thank you.
But the wife...
Oh, excuse me. Unalive them.
The wife is like standing by this guy, and I'm like, dude, like, you bring stand by your man
a little too far. And people gave Hillary Clinton a hard time because her husband got a Hummer from a fat chick.
And I'm bummed.
We'll be right back.
I'm just saying,
maybe
the writing's on the wall.
Maybe she's holding out for an insurance settlement.
I think she's.
Right? Oh, speechless.
I don't know. I mean, she is divorcing him. She is.
Sure.
But
what do you expect at a place called Gigolo Beach?
Gilgo.
Gilgo?
Gilgo.
Gigolo.
Gilgo, don't go.
Gilgo. Sultan, stay.
Just don't.
Poor Sultan.
I mean, I'm just like, like, I'm always like, I'm a big fan of Read the Room. Right? Like, read the room, right? Yeah. Like, if, especially like when it's dead and like people are lingering and you just like read the room, everybody's, that kind of thing. Or like if the room is like, if it's a comedy room and it's like, read the room, right?
Or like if a comic's been on stage for an hour and a half and they're just falling asleep. Read the room, dude.
The room.
The room has left the building.
Read the room, Mrs. Heuermann. He's a murderer. I'll be right back. Right. I have one very entertaining story.
You know why he didn't kill his wife? He didn't have to pay her for sex. Nothing? All right.
I love it.
Thank you.
I don't have laughter in me right now.
You don't?
No. I'm so tired. I got to speak at the penitentiary.
Prison.
Prison. Nothing more.
Prison, bitches. Hey, whores, what are you in for? Everything?
Everything. I can't, I'm like, what can I possibly impart here that's going to save somebody's life in this place? I don't know. We'll find out.
Just tell them your story.
Yeah, it could have been a really messed up one. It's kind of...
You're all you think you should say this.
A messed up one. I'm like, it's not that far from messed up right now.
Listen, you think you messed up. Not everything is what it's cracked up to be.
But
you can use that.
You ain't lying. That's right. That's gonna be my
That's your opener?
No, that's gonna be on my tombstone. Not everything is what it's cracked up to be. Okay. I don't know how much more time, but I do
think about 5 minutes.
All right. Okay, so this is Pete Davidson is coming out in a horror movie called The Home or something like that. Have you noticed?
Another movie? Because I know he's doing The Pickup. That's out with Eddie Murphy and Keke Palmer.
Okay,
that looks very funny, and Dice is in it too.
All right, this looks like some sort of
The Home. Is that where he's been confined to?
But it looks scary. Let me tell you something about a home.
Was he naked in it?
A home.
Sorry.
Sorry if he is.
Is it though?
It is actually. Homes are scary places for a lot of reasons. There's a lot of different type of human beings in these places. Okay, suffering various. So that in itself, it's like you got the guy that you just got. You can envision it.
Yeah.
Imagine, if you will, a black bear.
Imagine a black bear
entering the home.
Roaming
the hallways of the home.
Roaming the hallways of the home.
And getting in bed with one of the residents of
Getting
the
in
home.
bed with one of the residents.
Imagine all the possibilities
of getting raped by a bear.
Ooh, you may say I'm a dreamer, but it happened.
And I'm not the only one.
No.
Thank you, bears. Work in the room.
It happened in Pennsylvania.
Of course it did.
Yep, a bear broke through a window.
Seriously?
Yeah, and entered a nursing home. And then, yep, and that's when in this article. Wait, it goes a black bear.
Why you got to be black?
Entered the nursing home, and then in the article it goes, and then things got weird. And then things got weird. I think they got weird the minute the black bear entered it wandered around while trying to, and then they were trying to coax it out, and
Sure.
then the bear climbed into a resident's bed with the resident still in it.
Oh, he wanted a cuddle.
You know something? I am hoping that resident was like, ow, cold.
Well,
You know, I
probably
just felt
was if
that
it's a home. And
right.
the fact that a giant grizzly bear is crawling into bed with you, chances are you're in a coma. Otherwise, you're going to be shitting your pants.
I thought that was the cutest piece of news.
It is adorable.
Isn't
But
it
see,
sweet?
I'm from California, so when I hear bear, I think it's a big hairy guy with leather harness. Hey, queens, I'm coming into the nursing home. What, bitch?
Bears are cute,
Yes, I love bears.
Bears are cute.
Folsom Street Fair, honey.
Gay
They are
bears
everything.
and every bear. Gay bears and every bird. Gay pride. Gay bears and everything.
Yes,
They
lions and tigers
like a
and
big
bears.
gay
Oh,
bear.
yes,
It's like a
yes.
big gay bear.
He
All
was a hairy bear. He was a scary bear. Don't you remember that?
No.
So I took out my adjectives.
No, I don't know.
Schoolhouse Rock.
I don't know
All
that
right, I'm
one.
gonna go kill myself now.
No, don't kill yourself. I don't know that one, but I do know. 1, 2, 3. Wait, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2,
What?
3.
What are you, Sultan? This is gonna.
$300 for the hooker. Dude.
I
1,
want
2, 3,
hooker.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That was the shit.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
speaking of counting to 12,
Are we counting down?
we're counting down, baby. This is the countdown to the end, and we just want to thank you guys so much for watching us every week right here on Lunch Money. You can tune in every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can watch us right here on YouTube, and you can also stream us on Apple Podcast and Spotify. Hello, driving in the car. Hello. You can follow the show as well on Instagram at Lunch Money Talk Show for clips and updates for the latest episodes. And while you're at it, why don't you crawl on over to Savage and the City Pics and give little Gina Savage a follow. You're going to want to hear about the Riker story, aren't you?
I'll tell you next week.
And you can also, you can also follow me as well to the fucking gym, you fat bitch. Anyway, I'm just kidding. Was that too soon? Sorry. I was talking to the bear in the rest home. Sweetie, you're too fat for the bed. You gotta get toned. Do some abs. You can follow me as well at Christy Miller Comedy on Instagram and everywhere else. And please, we love the few of you that watch and stream. We're supremely grateful.
Supremely grateful.
Sure, I'm into that. We're
Yeah.
totally grateful for
Yeah,
you.
We are.
And so when you stream us or watch us, please give us a like. It really helps the algorithm. And please rate us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify as well. That really helps us too. And, like us, leave comments, tell us funny things that happen in the news that you see, and we'll make fun of it and have fun with it. And also leave comments and tell us where you're listening to us from. See how I get people to leave comments?
Leave comments.
Anyway, so I'm so slick. And last but not least, don't forget to share each episode. We love you. See you next Monday.
That's our show. Thanks for watching. See you next week. Bye now.